Now, let us look at our case study that we were given. So this is a case study for a company called Biodiesel Limited. There's a disclaimer here, but since the hiring process is over, I think I can show you how it went down. So the document is a bit long, but I've broken it down for you so that we can quickly go through the whole document and tackle the problem at hand. So here I've broken it down. Our company is called Biodiesel Limited. And a look at the executive summary. The company name is Biodiesel Limited. Where is it located? It's in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. What is the business or the product that BL does? So biodiesel collects used cooking oil from local hotels, restaurants, and street cart vendors and converts it to biodiesel. And what is biodiesel? Biodiesel is a substitute or a renewable substitute for petroleum diesel, and it can be used in any existing diesel engine without modification. What is the current status of biodiesel? It is only producing at 20% of its capacity, which is 2,000 liters per week, because of limited feedstock. The system BL uses for collecting used cooking oil is also inefficient enough to collect all of the available cooking oil to produce biodiesel. What are the future plans of biodiesel? Biodiesel is aiming to increase biodiesel production to its full capacity of 10,000 liters per week, and that will be done by increasing the feedstock supply. BL is also aiming to purchase new trucks to increase how they collect used cooking oil, and it will also begin using crude palm oil as additional feedstock. What is the market for biodiesel? The market looks like biodiesel is the first and only company to enter this renewable fuels market in all of East Africa. So that means even if competitors enter this market, the company has a significant head start, and by installing its technology, and there is also unmatched real-world experience in producing and selling biofuels in developing nations. So what is biodiesel looking for in this case study? So biodiesel is seeking an equity and or debt financing of up to 175,000 US dollars. So that is the executive summary of the company. Now we can look at the deeper details of this company, starting with the profile of biodiesel. What is the current status? A look at what biodiesel does is that biodiesel owns and operates its biodiesel refinery. So the refinery has a production capacity of up to 520,000 liters per year, or that means 10,000 liters per week. But at the moment, they can only produce 2,000 liters per week, or just 20% of its capacity. The raw material, as we saw earlier, is used cooking oil that is used for biodiesel production. The source of the raw materials, we saw that they collect used cooking oil from local hotels, restaurants, and street cart vendors. And they are producing at a capacity of 1 liter of biodiesel for each 1 liter of used cooking oil or the feedstock. And then what are the other products that biodiesel produces? So BL is able to produce and sell crude liquid soap, which is made from raw glycerin, which is a byproduct of biodiesel production. So that means BL or biodiesel has a secondary revenue stream, and they are also able to efficiently and safely dispose their waste stream. Let us look now at a short history of biodiesel. So the founders of biodiesel are Mr. Michael and Mr. Anthony, who met in New York, and they worked together in the same law firm for years. And then now, after working together, they decided to start a renewable energy business together. And in May of 2008, Mr. Michael moved back to Tanzania. In June the same year, 2008, Biodiesel Limited was duly formed under the laws of Tanzania, and they got tax authorizations and an industrial license. The following year, in January 2009, they submitted their first biodiesel for lab testing, and they obtained authorization to produce more biodiesel from the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in Tanzania. During the spring and summer of 2009, biodiesel began producing and selling their first biodiesel fuel, but on a small scale. But eventually, they slowly established their relationship with hotels and restaurants and street cart vendors, and this got them their first, the best, like a head start in fetching used cooking oil as a byproduct. And that is how they developed their customer list. And then in September 2009, biodiesel reached profitability, which is pretty quick considering they took only 1 year from June to September to June 2008 to September 2009. They were by the end of the by the end of the following year, or after 1 year, they were fully profitable. Yeah, and next we look at management and ownership. So Mr. Anthony is the co-founder and also a majority shareholder and CEO of Biodiesel. He's an attorney who was educated in US and is currently practicing law in New York City. So what are some of the duties of Mr. Anthony? Mr. Anthony is in charge of management and financial aspects of BL. Mr. Anthony also personally designed the refinery, and so he makes all the decisions relating to technical and safety matters of biodiesel refinery. And the next person is Mr. Michael. So Mr. Michael is the co-founder and also the general manager who is responsible for the day-to-day operations of biodiesel. So Mr. Michael holds a diploma in business administration with a marketing management option from Dar es Salaam College of Business Education. So that means Mr. Michael has good education background. He also has a wide array of successful entrepreneurial experiences, which include establishing and operating an exporting company in Dar es Salaam, whereby he exported over 20 tons of grapes to a Kenyan winemaking company, and also supervising mobile merchandising sales kiosks across US, which sold over 2 million per year in gross sales. In 1998, Mr. Michael also wrote, financed, and self-published a biography of the Tanzanian president titled Tanzania Tutakumbuka Milele, Baba wa Taifa. Another person who works with the BL is Mr. Song, who is a graduate student pursuing Masters in Business Admin at the Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University. Mr. Song is experienced in international investment banking, consulting, and venture capital. And then there is Mr. Massimo, a consultant at McKinsey and Company in the East African region. Mr. Massimo also has broad international experience and has spent 5 months in Dar es Salaam evaluating Biodiesel Limited. There is also Mr. Stefano, who has broad international experience and has spent 4 years in Dar es Salaam evaluating BL Limited, Biodiesel. And then finally there is Miss Christine, who is a CEO and director of a company called Africa Biofuel and Emissions Reduction Tanzania, which focuses on development of the croton nut as a renewable fuel source. So that means there's another company that is making renewable fuel source apart from biodiesel. But now this one is focusing on, probably we don't know what it makes, but it's not diesel, but it's a renewable fuel source. So back to Ms. Christine is that she has extensive experience in both corporate and startup turnarounds, mergers, acquisitions, and business development. The educational background of Ms. Christine is that she has a master's degree from Columbia University, Boston University, and Framingham State College in corporate finance, strategic planning, and biochemistry, respectively. So from this management and leadership section here, we see that the company has good leadership and management with extensive experience and technical know-how to run this business. Let's move to the market and client base for biodiesel. So the market is that in Tanzania, the country relies heavily on diesel fuel, and the country consumes over 2 million liters per day. with business using diesel for both vehicles and stationary power generation, which means generators. So despite the increasing prices, Tanzania depends entirely on petroleum product imports for its diesel supply. So all the diesel in Tanzania is imported. And in Dar es Salaam alone, there are over 100 commercial buildings that consume around 500,000 liters of diesel per day for standby power. So that means over 500,000 liters of diesel is used per day for generators. So biodiesel is aiming to replace 2% of Dar es Salaam's diesel market by offering their renewable biodiesel at a rate that is 20% below the petroleum-based diesel. So existing customers have already switched entirely to biodiesel. So customers that use the petroleum diesel have entirely switched to biodiesel. And demand from both current and potential customers exceeds the company's maximum production capacity of 10,000 liters per week. So there is potential for growth, which is even exceeding the maximum production capacity that they are aiming to achieve of 10,000 liters per week. What is the competition like? What is the competition space like in the market of biofuels? So biodiesel we saw is the sole biodiesel producer in East Africa, and the only competition is from imported petroleum-based diesel, which is 20% more expensive than the biodiesel BL is making. And there is no other domestic biofuel producers in Tanzania, so they have a significant advantage in the market already. Suppliers and other relevant stakeholders, we saw that they get used cooking oil from luxury hotels, restaurants, and street cart vendors in Dar es Salaam. What is the plan for the future for biodiesel? Biodiesel is looking to increase the biodiesel production and reach full capacity of 10,000 liters per week, and that will be done by increasing their feedstock supply. Another plan is that biodiesel wants to purchase new trucks to increase the collection of used cooking oil, and also they plan to begin using crude palm oil as additional feedstock. So those are the two plans for the future for biodiesel. So they plan to purchase new trucks which are of their own, which will enhance the efficiency they use in collecting used oil. Since they are currently relying on rented trucks and temporary drivers, which has its own challenges like delays due to traffic, poor roads, and unreliable drivers. But with their own trucks, will be able to establish a more efficient collection schedule, reach more used cooking oil suppliers in less time. BL also plans to diversify its feedstock by using crude palm oil in addition to the used cooking oil. They have already identified local crude palm oil suppliers capable of providing over 8,000 liters per week. So what does that mean? That means they are going to get additional feedstock of 8,000 liters per week to supply the 2,000 liters per week that they get. So the refinery is able to produce 10,000 liters per week, but biodiesel needs to purchase additional support equipment, which includes storage tanks, transfer pipes, and pumps, since the current additional support equipment has limitations and is only suited for production of only 3,000 to 4,000 liters per week. So that's another challenge that they have. The support equipment that they need, that they have at the moment, which is storage tanks, transfer pipes, and pumps, is only suited for a maximum capacity of 3,000 liters to 4,000 liters per week. But they need to purchase more or additional support equipment to reach the 10,000 liters per week. The feasibility is that the company has already done a consultation with Mr. Masima and Mr. Stefano, and they evaluated the company's potential growth. So the two consultants concluded that the best opportunity for biodiesel to grow is they expand their feedstock from just using cooked oil, from just using used cooking oil to use crude palm oil as well. And then the consultants located local crude palm oil suppliers and negotiated all the terms for supply of crude palm oil. So marketing and distribution is that the consultants concluded there is sufficient customer demand to increase or to absorb the increased production that they will have. So biodiesel is in high demand. In addition to the existing management team that biodiesel has, they are looking to hire a manager who will oversee this expansion project. So Mr. Michael, who is the general manager, is going to assist the expansion manager, but then the responsibility of Mr. Michael will just remain the same, which is to see the day-to-day operations, production and sales. But the expansion manager will be responsible for purchasing, importing and installing new equipment and raw materials, as well as hiring and training the new staff that they will hire. And then what are the milestones that the company wants to go by? The company, since they are aiming to get to 10,000 liters of biodiesel per week, and the current is 2,000 liters per week, so the company is looking to increase the production to 5,000 liters per week within 1 year. So within 1 year, they want to reach 50% of the capacity before fully expanding in the following year. So within 2 years, the company is looking to increase from 2,000 to 10,000 liters per week. So let us look at the investment plan, which is very crucial for this analysis. Let's look at what has already been invested in this company. From this table here, you can see the company has already invested 173,000 US dollars, which is a lot of money. So it means it's a capital intensive business. And the four individuals are the ones who have financed this business up to this moment. There's Mr. Anthony, who is the majority shareholder, who contributed 136,000 US dollars. There's Mr. Michael at $13,500, Mr. Massimo, who loaned the company 11,500, and Mr. Stefano, who loaned the company the same amount, 11,500. What are the finances that they need to expand the business? Fixed assets, the company needs trucks of up to 40,000 US dollars and support equipment of up to 20,000 US dollars. The working capital, which is money needed to increase for hiring and training, there is the expansion manager who will be paid, I think, 75,000 US dollars. There is training of new staff, which will cost $25,000, and then raw materials is going to cost 15,000 US dollars. So the total investment needed is 175,000 US dollars. So how does the company plan to raise this capital that they need? They need financing through either equity financing or loan financing of up to 175,000 US dollars. Let us look at the future expansion of the company. So biodiesel small scale and high efficiency biodiesel business model can be repeated throughout the African continent. And the company has begun research in neighboring countries like Kenya and Uganda. The development impact of biodiesel is that they have employed 3 to 4 persons per year, and with the funding, the company will be able to employ a total of 8 persons per year. They have created an estimated 2 to 3 indirect jobs, and that includes per diem drivers and laborers. And under the new expansion plan, the company will create an estimated total of 5 to 6 indirect jobs. And then local building owners can save up to $1,000 per week by purchasing the biodiesel that is cheaper than the petroleum-based diesel. The local social impact of the business is that the biodiesel produces less carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and particulate matter emissions than the petroleum diesel. So what are the case study instructions, which is now what you are going to answer for this video. We are going to complete a brief SWOT analysis of Biodiesel Limited. So SWOT analysis is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that this company faces. The second task is that we are going to identify the key issues that a potential equity investor would focus on when evaluating a potential investment in the business either during an introductory management meeting, due diligence, or term sheet discussions. So we are going to look at what an equity investor would focus on when if they want to invest in this business. And then now we're going to look at the company's ability to access debt from a company or another lender. Are there measures or actions that the management could could consider to increase their ability to access debt? The third task will be, if you are approached by biodiesel to advise this company on its growth, what will be the considerations in prioritizing this potential project in context of many other businesses that you might support as a business analyst? And in the event that you decide to support them, so what is the advice that you would offer the management of the business, and what would be the work plan you suggest entail? And then now the fourth one will be critical analysis or feedback of Biodiesel Limited. So we are going to jump right in and start with a brief SWOT analysis of Biodiesel Limited.